Got a bottle of water next to me.
Hello and welcome to Sky Blue Fans TV. Aftermatch Aftermath. There you are, with Claudio and, of course, with Chris. And we might be joined by Jonah, who's currently cruising around Bermuda. And what we saw today was a chance for the Sky Blues to enter the international break in second place. And, of course, it ended in disappointment as we managed to draw a match that should have been out of sight in the first half. Did today show yet again the frailties that against better opposition will become a real problem? Remember, Oxford had lost 4 out of 4 and, of course, 8 goals conceded by us, all from set pieces. So after 4 matches, 2 wins and 2 draws, I did expect a bit more from these 4 matches. And do we need that centre-half? Because currently, both do like to give away needless free kicks and possessions, especially giving away possessions. So give me your thoughts in your comments. I've got Chris with me. Chris, we'll first start with the selection. No surprises there, starting with the team they did. Maybe on the bench, though.
Yeah, no, he needed to go with the team that he did. They're the team that beat QPR 7-1. They're the team that beat Derby 5-3. I know it's great that Sakamoto and Sheaf have managed to get fit and available for selection. It just improves our depth. But yeah, no surprises. And he should have stuck with the same. I mean, I don't know how others feel about this because as great as Sakamoto is, and he really is a great player, I just felt we've looked in the last 2 league games, we've looked a lot more fluid going forward with Asante on the right as opposed to Sakamoto. And I don't know whether that's because maybe Sakamoto comes back a bit too much when he starts. I don't know the reason why. I think you put on Asante and Sakamoto next to each other, happily say Sakamoto is the better player. But I just don't know within the system, maybe Asante on the right works better. I don't know.
But we started the game fairly well, didn't we? I thought we were well on top, especially in the first half.
Yeah.
Jack Rodoni, fantastic on the bit of play on the wide there, out wide, got the ball back, right. Excellent goal, wasn't it? Turn and swivel.
Yeah.
Got the shot in. I mean, at the minute, he is quite potent, although later on he hit the bar when he shouldn't have done. But, I mean, that's a massive plus, wasn't that first half performance? Yet again, we saw a really good side of Coventry City, which is what we need, basically, from that attacking lineup.
Yeah, we do. It is literally moments of lapse in concentration from our defence that are costing us at the minute. Now, if we can stamp that out, then we are going to be a force to be reckoned with in this division this year, no doubt. I feel more so this year than other years. I think the championship's wide open. I don't think there's clear favourites for automatics, playoffs, and there's a lot of teams that could be bunched together. I don't think Leicester and Southampton are going to walk away with a league like was predicted before the season. And I think there's a chance if we can remain consistent and keep picking up points where we can have a shot at the automatics as well as the playoffs. I do think we will finish in the top 6, but I think this year is the year to push on and just try and sneak 1 or 2 because I think it's wide open.
I mean, we scored, and of course, I think we only held the lead for about 7 minutes when their on-loan striker from Tottenham, Lancashire, scored his second goal for Oxford. Reacting quickest from a free kick, which Carl Rushworth, having watched the replay, it does look like it sort of skids off the pitch, hits him in the chest, bounces out. But surely we should expect better there. This is a sort of, I wouldn't say goalkeeping error, but sort of lapse of concentration that had Wilson and now Collins, who's gone on loan to Burton Albion. I think a lot of the fans would be having a word, wouldn't they, as we'd say?
Yeah. 100%. I know. I fully agree. I'm not convinced by Rushworth, if I'm honest. I'm not so sure he's the upgrade he was perceived to be when he signed from Wilson. As far as I'm concerned, the first goal was a goalkeeping. I said it. I was obviously in the pub having a beer watching the game, so I said it in the pub with others next to me, and they didn't agree, which is fair enough. But I felt that the first goal was a goalkeeping error. He should have done better with that shot.
But also, Chris, a needless free kick. We've seen too many of them around the area.
Yeah.
We saw one against QPR last week where we could have had a clean sheet and it was needless. And yet again, I know Frank Lampard saying that it was never a free kick, whatever, but it was, and it was a stupid foul. It didn't need to happen.
Letter of the law. Yeah.
We can't defend set pieces, can we?
No, we can't at all. We look like we've lost our. I felt last season we were really good at defending set pieces, but this season it's almost like we've lost our confidence. I mean, you go back to the Derby game with one of their goals where Bobby Thomas gets bullied about and he lets off a really weak header back into a danger zone. They've scored their third goal from it, and then you come back to the fouls today, like. They need to cut that out. Like when they're that far from goal, you don't need to be jumping in. Just jockey and just try and steer them towards the flank or towards the corner. And if they get a cross off and score from that, then fair enough. Okay, they've done well. But don't make it easy for them with the fouls that they're doing.
Yeah, you're dead right there. Don't need to. I'll just read some comments out because we're getting comments in already. Uncle Jonga says, yet more goals conceded from set pieces again. When will we ever learn? A real missed opportunity today. Salop CCFC says, subs. Oxford came out and played thumpty, heady, kicky ball, and it worked. Starving us of the ball and flow. We can't change our game and have no plan B like last year. Also says we need 2 centre-backs. And we probably buy 2 for 12 million, not 1. Michael Cronin says 3 stupid free kicks conceded by centre-backs led to 2 goals. We can't put away teams like Oxford. We have no chance. And Pompey Lil pants, I'm afraid. Same old problem. Not lethal in front of goal and issues at the back. I've seen comments like that. And people say, well, we were last week. Yeah, but that was last week. Nick from Birmingham. I didn't actually watch the game, but my mate listened to CWR and kept texting me updates. We need more in midfield. Maybe we could try and get Shipley back. That's a joke. I know it is.
Yeah, that's got to be a wind up.
Wow, I need to put my sunglasses on. Second top. Oh yes, your top.
You're on about my top.
Pompey Lil should have used the subs. Super fan. Did you see Hadji wimp out of that challenge on the halfway, which would have led to a breakaway near the end? What a weird match, says Quinton Cartwright. We didn't turn up in the second half. Pompey Lil, we should have used subs a lot earlier. Cliche man. To borrow cliche from Vicky, our season won't be defined by Oxford away, although I'm not sure what game will define our season, Vicky.
Ryan Lashley to ask the question.
Yeah, we really wanted a good start. We were going into the international break and beaten, so we started well. Disappointed not to get all 3 points, but we'll be up there this season 100%.
I think that comment's really good, actually. There are definitely, look, as bad as today was, and I do feel ultimately today was 2 points dropped, not 1 gained. But at the same time, we've had an unbeaten start to the season, which we've not had for how long?
Wow.
Yeah, so there are positives to take.
Mick Davenport, defence lets down yet again, 2 points lost. Cameron De Rossi, rubbish. Both CBs are rubbish. Why didn't Frank make any subs? Day Sports photos, brilliant punditry from Oggy. Brannigan has moved the ball 6 inches to the right. If the wall doesn't move across, he'll beat us at the near post. Yes, it just shows you how not very bright footballers are, really, aren't they? You can see that, and they're actually on the pitch. You don't really. I mean, we don't even put a protest up that he's moved it. It was obvious that he'd moved it. Uncle Jonga, Tats was quality when he came on. Shame Hadji hit the bar. Sky Blue Army, 2 wins, 2 draws. Yes, it's disappointing not to win, but come on, we are own our own ground now. Happy days. Well, of course, yeah. Brilliant. Goes without saying. I wasn't going to use that line, but I might do it at some stage next half an hour. South CCFC on the positive, one of only 4 teams in the whole league undefeated, 14 plus goals. Nearest to that is Bristol on 9. Uncle Jonga. Rushworth should never leave that much of a gap inside of his post on the free kick.
with the Rushworth one, what I would say is I don't think the error was with his dive and trying to save the shot. The error was in how he positioned his wall, especially when the Oxford player went back and moved the ball. It was obvious what was going to happen. He should have reacted and got his wall to move over.
Yeah. Ryan at Matthew J. I can see us near the top. 2, if we sort the defence out, our attacking force is one of the best in the league. Got to work on defending set pieces. Cameron Dorsey says, Coventry were lucky that goal was offside. And Finn, we really should be beating teams like this, bottom half teams. If we want to keep up with the big boys, too many got carried away with the 7-1. That bump back down hurts. David Granigan, good evening. All of the second half, we need to sort our back line out. I think Lampard didn't get the subs right at all. He should have made them a lot sooner. Rushworth, very overrated. I mean, a lot sooner. He left it to the last minute, pretty much. Alan Green says, we look like scoring every time we attack. Sadly, we look like conceding every kick, free kick or corner.
Yeah.
Beer Spanner says, what about the defensive wall? Martin Goodall, Rushworth seems to flap every time it comes to set pieces, giving away silly unnecessary fouls outside the box. Still early in the season to iron out these issues. Ian Small, Bobby was stupid, got their petulant, didn't need it. Wayne Littlewood, bad defending, keeper error, stupid free kicks, and just pure naive play. Such a disappointment as the first half was sublime at times. Gordon Tulliard, I think we need a new goalkeeping coach. Every goalkeeper we've had get the worst as the weeks go on. I'll tell you what we will talk about, though, Chris. Victor Torp. Victor Torp is slowly becoming a complete midfielder. You know, his finishing at free kicks, long distance shots, absolutely fantastic. And you actually feel like we've got a player now, when he steps up, you've got a good chance he's going to hit the target and score. But
If
what a free kick.
What a great free kick. If I'd said to you 12 months ago, Victor Torp will develop in such a way that he'll keep Ben Sheaf out of a team, what would you have said?
Well, no, you expected him. I'd have thought he'd been in the team with him, not replacing him at the very least. You know, and he's also. There are times though when and it showed in the second half when Oxford got on top, that our midfield became way too open. In fact, they weren't even competing, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it's probably because, as somebody's mentioned already, which I've got loads of notes here. Basically, they were going long. They were being quite direct and completely bypassing the midfield. And we couldn't cope with that. And that's when, as a team, we have to get hold of that ball and get the lads in midfield involved.
Yeah.
And I think that's where Torp and Grimes and also Rodoni, they need to get on that ball a lot more, didn't they, in that second half?
Yeah, definitely. So this is where the second half did disappoint me, because I thought we'd 2-1 up at half time. I thought we'd kick on, control the game, control the midfield. And, you know, you've got to say it's a tactical brilliance from their manager, because he's gone direct, which he's almost trying to take the midfield out of the equation, because the midfield was what was winning the game at the time. But yeah, we need to find a way to combat that. I don't like these comments where, Oxford kicking the ball long, or it's anti-football. It's not anti-football at all. It's just a tactic and a way of playing, and a way of playing that we need to learn how to combat against, because we will come up against other teams in this division this year that will go direct when things aren't going well for them.
What was frustrating in that first half, Mason Clark is through on goal.
Yeah.
Got to score.
Yeah.
3-1, game's over, really. I wouldn't have seen Oxford scoring 2 goals past us.
No.
To get back to 3-3, you know. And that, he needed to be calm there, didn't he? He had the whole goal to aim at.
I think he panicked, because I think he thought he was going to be flagged for offside, and obviously the flag never went up, and then he just fluffed his lines. I just, you know, and it's just that bit of composure, you know. I think if that had been Hadji Wright in that situation, I think the ball probably goes in the back of the net, because he seems to have that. He's pretty ice cool about everything. which obviously when things aren't going well, it winds people up thinking, oh, he's lazy and what have you. But obviously when things are going well, it just looks like he's a great player. So, but yeah, he just seemed to fluff his lines because I think he thought he was going to be flagged for offside, and then the flag never came.
It's frustrating because I think Milan had a similar chance as well, where
he did.
It came to him and he just sort of lashed at it, and you just think a little bit of composure, lads. We've. I mean, that first half we should have been probably easy 4-1 up.
100%.
It should be game over.
We controlled that first half from start to finish. There's no doubt about that. And it was literally a stupid defensive lapse that gave him a goal. It weren't great play from them or anything like that. We've always been the masters of our own. I want to say downfall. Well, we've drew today. We've not lost. So, but it's almost like we were the masters of our own demise and not coming away with the 3 points, if that makes sense.
Well, this is a good point here, and I've got loads of comments. I didn't realise there's that many. Someone's pointed out that Frank just doesn't fancy Sims at all, does he?
He didn't at Everton. He didn't at Everton.
No.
So, there's obviously history there between the two. I think sometimes people forget about that. And you know me, I'm very much on Vicky's side with the Sims argument. I think there is a player there, but I do think he's very much a confidence player. And until he gets in a situation where his confidence gets boosted, we're not going to get anything from him.
Maybe that's why Everton sent him out on loan in the first place to Sunderland.
Yeah.
I mean, they recalled him because they had to, because of injuries. And then when he came back, Frank started him once, I think.
Yeah, started him once. I believe he scored that game as well. Yeah. But then didn't play him. So this is what I find weird about the Sims situation. Every time he plays for us and scores, the next game he gets dropped.
Yeah.
that to me doesn't make sense. But you can't argue what Haji Wright's doing through the middle at the minute. Like it's night and day between the two. Haji Wright has to start through the middle at the minute because he's scoring. He's scoring almost every game at this point. He's scored in his last 4 games. He's on a roll. You can't be taking him out to put Sims in to try and build his confidence. And this is where Sims needs to sort of wake up this year, because when he gets his chances, he needs to take them. If he's not going to take them, then he'll find himself in a situation at the end of this season where, it pains me to say it because I am a fan of Sims, and you've heard me say it on the show before, but he's going to find himself in a situation where he's falling even further down the leagues to try and get that game time to build his confidence back up. And we've seen it with other players where it doesn't always work out, like the further you drop.
The lad at Oxford, the Lancashire who scored, he's only 20. And he was bubbling. He was, especially that second half, he was a proper handful, I thought, second half. He was lively, wanting the ball. You won't get that from Sims if he's on the pitch as much as that, which is the difference, I think. And he's 20. Yeah. So he's got to find it.
Is he actually Oxford's player, or is he on loan?
On loan from Tottenham, yeah.
Why on earth I guess.
Exactly. Paul Cuttyford, goalkeeper at fault for both goals. Kitchen and Thomas conceding too many silly free kicks. It's no wonder all them goals have gone in from set pieces. Finn says, we need a good keeper. Clampty Collins, Rickety Rushworth needs to go. Set pieces destroying us. We've got Wobbly Wilson. Is that another one? Like characters from the Beano, aren't they?
That
one. Mick Kelly, Sakamoto is the only winger that cuts the ball back into the box that finds one of our players, not a defender. David Granigan. But I definitely feel we dropped 2 points today, although on the other hand, we're on 2 points per game, which could be enough for the playoffs. Rushworth should have picked up the fact the ball had been moved for the second and moved the wall. That's Mark R.
Yeah.
Wayne Brewington says, looked a bit tired in the second half. I think the midfield chasing shadows second half. Finn, we blew going second into the international break. Yep. Mark R says 8 points, 14 goals, a big fat 0 defeats in the opening 4 games. We would have taken 4 weeks ago.
He's right.
Or we would have done, but I think once the league starts and you got momentum and all the rest of it, after last Saturday, we should have been going to Oxford and looking for a win, regardless of, there's, I know.
I agree.
The old cliches, there's no game's an easy game. But currently, what I've seen of Oxford, it's an easy game.
I
Jonah,
agree. Sorry.
You guys feel like we've got a little too cocky with our fullbacks pushing forward, then getting hung out to dry. Well, that's true. And the problem is where you need that organising centre back to pull people back into position.
Yeah.
We haven't conceded in open play, which is bizarre for us because we let in some soft goals last season from open play.
Which tells me that I don't think our fullbacks pushing forward is the issue with our defence.
I just think as a unit, and Jim Brown pointed this out when I had the conversation with him during the week, we're not defending as a team because even the first goal, when it comes back off Rushworth, it's their guy who gets to it first.
Yeah.
We have, if you look at it, we had 3 of our defenders around that ball, or 3 City players. Simon Lovett says, too many mistakes and poor performances all around over the whole of the game. We arguably have the strongest bench we've ever had, yet failed to make changes, even when we could see players were struggling.
I don't necessarily agree that we were poor the whole game on that one.
Salah, CCFC, that's free kick. The taker moved the ball just before it kicked. It should have been a free kick anyway. I don't know. I think he wrestled him.
It was a free kick. I'm not going to, entertain.
Ralph Wiggins, at least we know what is our problem. We just need to do something about it. Norwich, Leicester, Birmingham, those will be the real tests for where we have those run of games. Yes, there could be some good games coming up now. Proper matches.
Games. Yeah, big games.
Finn says about how long is it before David comes back? I think you're looking at February. Lee Lishman, I could see it coming. Coventry struggle when we're supposed to win. We are always, and he's finished, left a bit off there. In some ways, the international break has come at a good time, gives them time to work on a training pitch, even though I don't think we definitely need to try to get more bodies in before Monday. I don't think it makes any difference.
Yeah.
I don't think people realise just how little they do on the training pitch at times.
The training is used to basically keep your fitness up. I don't think anything drastically is going to change by some miracle change in your training. It's to keep your fitness up to be much ready for when you go on a Saturday or Tuesday night.
Quinton Cartwright says, Chris, thank you for getting me tickets for David Speedie night. Yes, of course, Chris. Give it a quick plug.
David Speedie, Friday the 26th of September. It's the night before the Birmingham game. We've done a few of these events now, and they're always great nights full of laughter and, reminiscing about great times with the Coventry. Please, I believe the link will be in the bio for here to be able to go and buy your tickets online. The links are also on the Walsgrave Workingmen's Facebook page. And alternatively, if you're local enough to the area, just pop in and you can buy one from behind the bar. But don't miss out because these nights are brilliant.
They are, definitely are. Nicholas James says, good evening, both. Well, it's such a shame to have dropped 2 points from a nailed on 3 points. Geez, we need to be able to get that defending sorted out. Don't give away silly free kicks and defend them better when we do. And a big positive, but we are lethal going forward. We have one of the best midfields in the league. We have a top striker in Hadji, and we will win way more games than not. And that will get us into the top 4 or 5. I mean, sort ourselves out. We could get top 2, if we get it sorted out defensively.
Yeah, I genuinely believe it's open enough that we can challenge for that. That's not me predicting we'll definitely do it, but I feel like if there's ever a year that we're going to challenge for automatics, this is the year to do it.
I'm just getting through his comments. Sorry for the pause there.
No, it's okay.
Paul Cuthbert said, so second half was back to the bad old days when we need to nip it in the bud because it was the same at Millwall till the subs come on. And what I noticed second half is that they came out with a different attitude. Gary Rowlett, I mean, everyone knows how his team plays. They've never played any different.
Yeah.
They're in your face. They do knock it long as well. They do try and get your defenders to turn. And that's what they did to us. And we just didn't do enough to control that, did we? And there were times where I thought EMC and Asante were just a little bit lazy in tracking back, in blocking defenders getting forward, who were then helping out their wider players, which meant more balls coming into the box. There was some confusion. We dealt with it, but of course it does lead to needless free kicks and corners. And it's just disappointing that we let that slip in that second half, because when I sat down to watch it, I just thought, oh, well, come on, lads, just see it through, get another goal early in the second half, put the game to bed, which is what I thought would happen, a bit like the QPR game, and it didn't, did it?
No, it never quite fell for us after that. I thought the second half we really would kick on. We were very much in control of the game. There was never any danger of us not controlling the game. And then all of a sudden they just seemed to change tack and went direct, and we just struggled to deal with it. And then obviously the petulance from the defence has come in, which, to be fair, a lot of people, obviously yourself and Wayne, have picked up on defensive errors over the last couple of weeks. And at the moment, this is the only drawback. This is what's going to cost us if it's not stamped out.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Mark R says they turned the second half into a basketball game. It broke our rhythm. We didn't adapt to it at all. Ups pressure on defence, and they lose their composure and give away free kicks. Finn says, as we are actually scoring, we do think we should just concentrate on completely new defence. Thomas Kitch, JDS, just not up to it. Well, we need to, the thing is, we need two, because we cannot expect Latibaudiere and Bidwell to be the backup centre halves.
Agree.
We've got a problem, I think.
Yeah.
Realms of Possibility says, threw away 2 points. Alan Packer, keeper at fault so many times since the start of the season. He needs to be rested for the sake of the team and results. That's not going to happen, though, is it? Nicholas James, I know Hadji should have put that one away at the end, but I hope our fans are realising that he's the best striker we could possibly have at this level. It's a shame Frank didn't bring Tats on sooner.
It's like you pointed out the other day, you mentioned the goal scoring records on Thursday night show, didn't you, between him and Vic?
It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And way better. Someone worked out Sim's goal to wages ratio works out 100,000 per goal. Ice Chips, can we talk about Frank's lack of tactical awareness? He's not using his substitutes. 2 points dropped. He was in denial, wasn't he, of Tat saying he's got a bit of a groin. That's rubbish, isn't it? Why would you play him?
By the way, I don't think people are realising enough that maybe this situation with doing late subs might actually change after the transfer window closes. Maybe he's not doing changes when he should be doing them to try and send a message to Doug.
All right.
We need new players.
Conspiracy theory.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I might be wrong. I might be off the mark. But we've seen other teams do it.
Yeah.
So,
Dave Blackwell, we've got to get new players in. It looks like we won't. We won't. The owner won't let Frank get loan players. That's poor judgment. Cliche man, Chris, enough of the Sims is confidence player guff. A professional sportsman has to be confident. End of it. He's 24, not 18, which is kind of what I pointed out, that the guy playing for them is only 20. At some point, I think we've just got to let him go. But maybe nobody wants him. Dan says 2 central defenders needed on Monday. Bench, Kitch and Thomas. Glenn Watkin, Frank chatting doo-doo in the press conference. Yeah, I must admit, the fact he didn't change it. It always worries me when I see a team put 3 subs on and we do nothing. This isn't just in Frank's era. That used to happen with Mark Robbins.
Yeah, Mark Robbins did it all the time. Yeah,
you're thinking, put some subs on. Change something, because they're obviously doing something.
Yeah, I'd love to see the stats actually from Mark Robbins' second reign with us, as to how many times he actually didn't make a sub. He just left the same team out for 90 minutes. I think he done it a few times.
Yeah. To me, it just appears like you're a bit clueless when you do stuff like that. Yeah. But you need to, and almost to the point where you probably thought, well, it doesn't matter who I change. I can't change the way this game's going. that's bad, because you should think
Worrying.
it is, because whoever's on your bench, you must be thinking that you've got to be able to change your formation or do something different.
I believe someone had left a comment on earlier about how strong our bench is now compared to how it has been previously. And it's the strongest we've had it in years. And I just don't understand that a game like today, you're not looking back at that bench and thinking, okay, we've got a game changer there. We've got a game changer there. And also the ability to be able to react and maybe change your formation mid-game, because we don't see Frank do that. And
it's no good having a strong bench if you don't put any of them on.
Exactly.
I mean, me and you could have been sat on that bench today. Lee Lishman were becoming a Neely team. Cobb always seemed to struggle when they should win. The fact Oxford hadn't got a point, you could see it coming. Rowett is no mug. We need faces in Monday, hopefully. Obvious now. Need to learn how to see games out. Rushworth is Rushworth that much better than Collins? We had a strong bench today. Not to use them is criminal. Finn, on a positive note, we looked awesome going forward. Pants at the back. It's the same as last season, though. We just need to score loads to win, which is the same as last season.
Yeah.
It's going to be entertaining, that's for sure. And I know Frank is doing well, but what frustrates me with him is he's not going right. He never switches it up, change shape or nothing. Just continue to play the same. What's your thoughts? Well, we just said, David, I think you do need some kind of option to change things around. I can't. We're not good enough to play the way we're playing all the time to beat teams, and this is the issue for me. We haven't. We need to be stronger in certain areas still.
Yeah.
And until we are, we do need a plan B, because it's.
Which to me is crazy, because when you think back to last season, obviously we had that really bad start. He's come in. He tried to persevere with 4-3-3. Then we had a slate of injuries, and he had to change to 5 at the back and wing backs and what have you. And that's arguably when we had our best run of the season. In the lead up to Christmas, now with the Sheffield Wednesday game and stuff like that. So it amazes me that some points during the game, if things aren't working out with the 4-3-3, I get we probably can't now because of the centre back situation, but that's something that has worked for him previously. But he seems very, very reluctant to even attempt going back to that mid-game.
I think when you look back at the QPR game as well, when we made changes from the bench, it kind of went flat for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, it did.
So you have to actually think, how strong is that bench?
Yeah. But then those same players then started against Millwall Tuesday night, and it was a flat performance until they made the changes. Bringing the regular starters on, and then it sort of sprung to life, but it was too little too late.
Yeah, Flynn says, didn't think after the friendlies we'd make top 6. Now I think we could easily get autos if we sort our defence out. Wes Handley, we've waited this long and not got a CB. I'll be surprised if we get one, let alone 2. I mean, the equalising goal was obviously a needless. I've said it's needless free kick. He pulled him down, or he did everything possible not to let the guy get the ball.
Yeah.
Very rarely do they go the way of the defender, that sort of challenge, because he wasn't even looking at the ball, I don't think, Kitchen. But it's a weak goal to give away, though, wasn't it? The whole thing with the wall, the keeper. Yeah. And then you're worried, aren't you, at 2-2, that we could actually blow this.
Yeah.
So it was a kind of relief that it ended 2-2 in the end, even though Hadji did have a golden chance at the end.
We should never have been in the position to be relieved with a 2-2, because we should have been out of sight, especially the way that first half went. And I just think it's bad game management from us. That's the reason why we've not won today. And also, obviously, bad from the centre-backs giving away needless and pointless free kicks. That needs to be cut out. Sometimes, not necessarily let them go, but don't foul them either. And if they go on to score, they go on to score, and it's unfortunate. But at the same time, don't make it easy for them. And I feel like we did that today.
I think, though, we're going to wrap this up in a second. Obviously, there's a longer show tomorrow night where most of the crowd are. Everyone, I think Vicky's away, but Ken will be back, and Jack, myself as well. and we'll have a in-depth look at the whole thing. But it's 4 matches. We are currently 5th in the table. We've got 8 points, and it's, as you said earlier, we've had worse starts than this. This is actually the sort of start. I'd be 2 wins and 2 draws. Yes, you'd have taken it. I thought at the start of the season, I actually thought we could win all 4 games. And I looked at the start of the season. After the whole match, I was thinking, oh no. You know what I mean? I thought,
same old start.
Maybe not. But then looking at it now, you're thinking, and I watched Leicester and Birmingham last night, and there's nothing to fear there whatsoever.
No.
Maybe Leicester when they play at home and they start firing, but they're going to have problems with points and all the rest of it. If we manage to pull somebody in before the end of the transfer window, and it has to be, if we get a couple of players that are going to make a difference, Chris, as well, because there's no good signing backup players now. We need somebody who's going to make players in the first team, the top 11, actually
try,
fight for their places, and so they know if they have a couple of bad games, they're out.
So, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? So, obviously, it was heavily insinuated that we'd made anywhere between a 10 and 15 million pound bid for Charlie Hughes this week. He's a left-footed centre back. That's Kitchen's position. Is he an upgrade on Kitchen, do you think?
I think he's an upgrade on both of them. And there's no reason why he can't play on the right side of the defence. It's interesting that Kitchen is given the captain's armband above Thomas. Now, whether or not that means, they might. So we can't lose any of them. That's the problem.
Yeah.
We cannot lose them. So whether or not that means, I'll get the words out in a minute. Somebody like Hughes comes in, but we lose Bidwell or Latibodiere, even though Latty's injured at the minute. But if you're paying up to 15 million for a player, he's starting.
Yeah, 100%. So it's not like a couple of years ago when we signed Kitchen for 4 million, because that was hard for. Because he didn't get into the team straight away, did he? And I remember thinking, I can't believe we've spent 4 million on a player and he's not starting, which was completely out the norm for Cov at the time. Yeah. And now we're bidding,
which is weird. I thought that was poor because I couldn't believe he didn't start. I thought, well, we've paid all that money and he's not playing.
But I think the plan is that because I believe Barnsley had a really great season the season before with Collins in goal and the 2 centre backs, Thomas and Kitchen. So I think that was a deliberate ploy from the club to bring a really set, partnership in. Obviously for Collins, bless him, it's not worked out. But I do like Kitchen. I think Kitchen's improved tenfold since he signed with us. I think the improvement in him is there. You can see it. It's obvious. Obviously, he's had his petulant mistake today where he's conceded that free kick. But so I don't think I think Kitchen for me needs to start. I think he's our best centre back.
I think also we've probably been a bit harsh when we say too many needless mistakes, but you look at most centre halves.
Yeah,
they get caught out. They do that,
I mean,
Dave Sports mentioned, I'll read this out before we pack up. I think Fads played really well at the start of that season, made it impossible to drop him. This is which is true.
Yeah.
But if you remember that first season in the Championship, the amount of penalties and daft fouls we were giving, and in the end, you got Dom Hyam, who became player of the season, and Fads, who became a colossus. So and
then we had
it needs to be coached out. But the trouble is, we had Lawrence and Vivash coaching.
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder. There's a lot more to it than just simply them making mistakes, and I think the element has got to be on defensive coaching, sorting out the back 4 or back 5 or back 3, wherever they are, and we do need a leader in that defense, and it doesn't have to be an old head. You can be a young player and be very good at man management.
So do you not think that Kitchen comes across as a leader?
I'm not sure. I don't see him pointing enough, and that sounds. I don't see people.
I get what you mean, though. I get what you mean.
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see who actually is the leader in our team in terms of organisation. I think the next time we play, I might do that. I might just look at a couple of players and see actually what do they do when they haven't got the ball. Who's actually doing the talking? And I think it's a problem. And this comes down to set pieces because, okay, that was free kicks today. But when it's a corner or a free kick coming in from a long range distance, we're letting players win the ball ahead of us.
Yeah,
so
we're not confident at all in our box.
Somebody's not organising. Somebody's not doing their jobs. They're switching off, and that's got to stop.
Yeah.
But I'm going to end on a positive. We are 5th in the table. No defeats after 4 games. Come on, we've had 2 away games.
Yeah.
So, and I think we're in for a decent season yet again. I predicted top 6, and hopefully, if we sort out these daft set piece goals and do what we're doing, because I said no one scored a goal against us in open play as such, which is a massive improvement. I think we could do it this season, but we do need a couple of extra players. We'll be back tomorrow night with Ken, I think, leading the show. Thank you, Chris, for coming on for this short little show. It's going to be half an hour. We've gone to 41 minutes. And we'll be back tomorrow night. Thank you, everybody. Remember to like and subscribe. Tell your friends, dead or alive, to watch us. Good night for now.
Yeah.
Sky Blue Fans TV, for the fans, by the fans.